Welcome back, everyone, to the Fenton Perspective here on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. I am your host, Lorianne Fenton, and it is happy 4th of July to you all. I just wish we were all leaders in the next revolution that's going to happen. I don't know what you guys think. It's going to happen on one side or the other, but anyhow, I'm not going to get into all that right now because, as you saw earlier in the show, it just upsets me to the point that I can't talk. So I'm not like Alex Jones. I can't just go on and on about not giving you guys answers. And the problem we've got is, and I am going to talk about this for 1 second. I hope my guest doesn't get angry with me, but there is this whole issue of I'm trying to get people to understand that the Occupy movement is the way to go. But the Occupy movement had no clear leadership defined. It also had no clear mission defined. It was not army tactics as usual. It was a bunch of people getting together and making a stand, and I get that. And it was like a giant group of protesters all over the United States, which is wonderful. But if we took that and we took the whole thing and did it over again, but this time everybody had a mission in mind, a destination in mind, and an outcome in mind, then who knows what could have happened during that. That was a huge test, and I think it was, to be honest with you all, I think that was a staged event by our government, because how else could you be that organized? And like I say on all my shows, you guys, evil is more organized than you can ever imagine. And so it just bothers me. Something in my gut tells me that that event, for it to do what it did, for it to go nationwide, for it to be that organized, thank God for the internet, that's all I can say, is somebody had to let it happen, okay? So catch my drift or not, but there's something definitely going on with that. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, I think, with our next guest. But before we do, I've got to say, we are listener-supported radio here at Revolution Radio, and I do hope that you guys are at freedomslips.com. It is 4th of July, so maybe you guys can help us out a little bit here. Let me go to the website. As usual, I am bad host, and we need to spank me, but, then again, who knows, I might like it. So, as a good friend says, you never know what you might like until you try it. Okay, so on the Support Us page, before I do that, I got to see how much money we've raised this month. Okay. Oh my God, we're doing pretty good so far. We're on the 4th of July, and we need to raise every month $26.50. And we have raised $625. So, we're not a third way there yet, but we're getting close. It's a fourth of the way at least. And I'm really happy about that, you guys. But it doesn't make the whole nut, as they say. And I really need you all to go to freedomslips.com, go to the Support Us page. And on the Support Us page, there are many ways to help us out. The first way is become a member of the monthly support club. There's different levels from $10 to $100. You could also buy the heirloom seed packs, which I think everybody should have. God, someday I really hope to be able to afford the community garden. I just want to grow enough food for, half of the neighborhood at least. You can make a one-time donation. You can put a personal chat room icon up for $5, but my most favorite is the archives. You have to go to a separate button for that, the archive button. And on the archive button, you will find that you can sign up at the bottom of the page and become a member of the archives for $5 a month. I believe it's $4.95 a month. And that is the best way to support us here. If everybody listening to my voice, as I say every week, would become a member of the archives pretty soon, we wouldn't need to even be asking for any money. So I do hope that all of you help us out, become a member of the archives, listen to my show or anybody else's show here at Revolution Radio anytime you want by being a member of the archives. And we appreciate it. So thank you all who have donated. I do appreciate you keeping me here. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, happy 4th of July. If you're doing it for all the right reasons and celebrating the freedom that we did have in this country, then good for you. If you can think of other ways to help get our freedom back, that's even better for you. So thank you all for donating. I appreciate it. And we're going to move on here in a minute. So I do want to say one other thing. I forgot to tell you guys about this at the top of the show. I actually met, I'm going to take a couple more minutes. My guest today is DJ from L9N News. level9news.com, level9news.com. I want you guys all to go there first. The 9 is a number 9 and numeric 9. So it's level9news.com, and we'll get with DJ here in just a moment. But I wanted to let you guys all know something really nice happened to me at Contact in the Desert this year. I was in a very funky state. I wasn't having a great time. And I was hot, I was miserable, I wasn't feeling well. My diabetes has been kind of flaring up lately. And so I was trying not to eat, but it was so hot, I didn't know what to do. You guys, I'm telling you, I'm going to go on a little side tangent here. Contact in the Desert is not one of my favorite places to be. It is truly too hot to be in the desert doing that kind of stuff. And I just don't know about the future of me ever being in it again, but who knows? We'll see. Anyhow, I'm at Contact in the Desert. I'm having a really funky day, and my good friend Mary Electra, she is a famous sound healer, and she's an amazing masseuse. She came up to me and said, I'll work on you. And I said, okay, great. So we found a place. She's working on me, and I broke down into tears. I was just a mess. And she said to me, what's going on? I said, oh, there's just so many things going on, and I'm feeling so bad. And she said, look, let's just pray to your angel and ask her for help because you need it, right? I said, yeah, I do. And she goes, okay, let's do it. So we kind of prayed and did our thing, and it was really wonderful. And I felt really good afterwards because I hadn't had a week, or it's been a couple weeks at that point that I hadn't had time to really connect with my angels. And I try to connect with them every day, at least twice a day. And just for some weird reason, I was so busy the last 2 weeks before Contact, I couldn't make the connection. So I really did a deep meditation with them, talked to them, and did a request. And you guys, I haven't done a request for a long time. I realized I never asked for anything. The only thing I asked for is for them to protect me, you know, and I thought that was enough. I never wanted to go beyond that because I figured if I'm protected, I'm loved by God, and that's all I needed, you know. But she convinced me. Mary was a very wise woman. She convinced me that they would help me with anything. So I did this, and I prayed, and I was sitting at the table right after the massage, and I was kind of wrung out from all the tears and the asking and the praying, and I was sitting there, and this woman walks up, and she says hello to Melinda Leslie, who's sitting to my left, and tells me what a great tour guide Melinda is, and we were laughing and about how she became a great tour guide with her night vision sky goggles and all that stuff. And she looked at me and she goes, and I said, I'm a radio talk show host, blah, blah. And she goes, oh, do you need any help? She goes, I've got plenty of time. I can help you. And I've been in radio for a long time. I'm a radio coach. I was like, what? Anyhow, so long story short, folks, prayer does work because this woman now we've met, she's doing a lot of revamping of my things. She's going to help me with the website. She's an amazing woman, and if it wasn't for me praying to my God and my angels, you know, whatever is up there, I don't think I would have met her, to be honest with you. I think we would have, you know, there's 1,000 people at this conference. I may not have met her. So she was truly an answer to my prayers, and I want to thank her if she's listening to my show today for meeting with me, and we'll see where we go from there. But it was just nice knowing there was some support out there, and it's nice knowing that God's still listening to me. I thought he might have just said, you know what, you're on your own now, kid. You know, you're causing enough trouble. Anyhow, so I'm going to bring on my guest. I just thought I'd share that little story with you guys because everybody's always interested in what's going on with me. I'm like the Kardashian rear end butt TV show here on the radio. Oh, okay, DJ, are you with me?
Hi, Laureen. Happy 4th of July.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for being on my show today. I really appreciate it. Hey, and by the way, I can hear myself a little bit in the background, so can I get you to turn down your speakers just a hair? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, hang on 1 second.
Sure, no problem. Anyhow, DJ, folks, you've got to know, she's the most amazing woman I've ever met. I swear to God. I heard her one day on John B. Wells' show talking about Jade Helm, and I was like, oh my God, this woman is fascinating. She does her research. And I've had her on the show a couple times, and you know, we talk every once in a while back and forth, and every once in a while she'll text me in Skype and say, I've got something really cool, and you know, we talk about it a little bit, and it's amazing the work she does. She is truly and a gifted and very thorough researcher and reporter. And I would say she is a journalist in the true sense of the word, folks, because very few people out there really are doing journalism anymore. I call it just giant sensationalism. And she doesn't do that. She really does her research before she throws things up on her website. You know, everybody else is just throwing stuff up to fill the space. She actually writes these articles, takes her time, understands what she's doing, and she knows what she's talking about. So I bring you DJ. It's level9news.com. That's Level, the number 9 news.com. DJ, what are we going to talk about today? Your website is chock full of stuff. I want to start with transhumanism.
Oh, well, that's a pretty big subject.
I know, it's huge, but you know, your website is just so amazing. And this first article that caught me today when I went to the website was Transhumanism, Our New Evolutionary Path.
hmm
Now, did you write this article, or is this one that you thought was so amazing you had to put up there by somebody else? I can't tell yet.
No, ma'am, I wrote that article.
Oh, did you? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh my God. Okay. So, so what I need to know from you is why humans will be hybrid robots by 2030. It's very interesting that you're leading with that on your website right now. Have you seen the movie The Corporation with Robin Wright Penn?
I don't think so.
Oh my God. I've been telling everybody to watch it. It's not easy to sit through. It is a really bad movie. But but the whole concept and what they're talking about in the movie is very intriguing to me because it's basically taking our consciousness and putting it in an AI reality, and we can become anything we want in the AI reality. And it starts out with, I'm going to be a spoiler here for you folks because no one's going to sit through this thing, but basically what happens is the movie industry starts out by owning people's consciousness and putting them into characters that look like humans in a movie. And so they don't need live actors anymore. As the guy describes in the first part of the movie, he goes, I don't have to put up with your drug abuse. I have to put up with your womanizing. I have to put up with anything. I just put you up there and have you do what I want you to do. Anyhow, so there we go. And a very interesting concept of a movie. And I'm not going to tell everybody how it ends, but you really need to watch it and make yourself sit through it because it really shows you what could happen eventually. I really believe so. And so humans will be hybrid robots by 2030. Now, now this looks like this is by Ray Kurzweil, which I've heard quite a bit about. And do you go on after that to talk about what your take is on it?
Yes. Ray Kurzweil is probably um, the world renowned pusher of transhumanism.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he has some very, very strange ideas in his head.
Well, I'm beginning to wonder if he doesn't have a robot brain in his head, you
Yeah,
know?
I think he would like to. I think he would eventually like us all to be there. But we're moving in that direction at, a somewhat rapid pace. I mean, they're talking about, I just posted a report, or it's posting tomorrow, about a survey on 2,088 people by, I think it was Business Week or something like that, and I went through the survey, and it explains how these 2,088 people that they surveyed thinks that, oh, this is all just fine and it'll be commonplace, and we will have a better human experience because of it. And I was like, ooh, yes. I
Well,
mean, they're talking about downloading consciousness. I did a report called Transcendence,
okay.
uploading brain maps of the dead.
What?
Yeah, and they're
Holy
working on that
Moses.
now. And the firm, the startup, and I think it's in California, that's working on this, they haven't perfected it yet, but they're well on their way. And for the right amount of money, you could be able, at the point of death, upload your brain map to a computer, and then after the death of your physical body, have it downloaded into either a cybernetic unit or another, or something else.
Oh my God, DJ, I'm having chills, and I'll tell you why. Is because I absolutely believe we've been doing this for quite some time. I don't think the more and more I dig into the whole, and I know this sounds crazy, but the more I dig into the alien connection to this planet, if there are such things as aliens, I have never seen one or remember one, so I don't know, you know. But everybody I'm around in the UFO community swears to God they're communing with other, you know, entities. Now, I don't think as many of them are extraterrestrial entities. I think maybe it's a very small percentage that can transverse the stars. I think the other ones, the more popular of them, like 75 to 80%, are probably interdimensional beings. And I believe that these beings have in some way, shape, or form started working with our military on a very dark level where they're actually downloading our consciousness and using our consciousness. Because it explains a lot of what these people that claim they've gone to Mars, these people that claim they've traveled through time, there's people that have claimed they've done all these things. And if you really look at it, what are they saying? They're saying that their consciousness is in a different state or different dimension than our 3D reality here now. And who knows who might be triggering those events to happen in their life as a grand experiment in this country.
Right.
So,
I think you're right. And, um, I'll even support that theory one step further, and it's that I think that what they're doing with this AI, or artificial general intelligence, and to some degree with CERN, is they're creating a womb, an incubus for an intelligence that may have inhabited this planet a very long time ago. And it's not a benevolent intelligence.
oh my God, DJ, I can't believe you said that. That's exactly what I believe too. I
You
don't know
know,
how CERN plays into that because you know, when I was talking earlier about talking to my angels, you know, I know I sound kind of religious and kind of like off the cuff here going into that story, but the reason I brought it up is because who knows that these angels or God or what have you isn't our higher selves in a holographic universe where we're creating everything around us at all times. So basically, I'm talking to myself at a higher level or higher dimension. And I think we all can tap into that higher dimension, and that is our God.
yeah,
So,
I think you're right.
and I think there's an equal and opposite, very evil AI system out there that doesn't care about humans at a 3D level, very much like the Matrix. They thought we were an anomaly that needed to be killed, you know? So, anyhow, it's a very bizarre conundrum, and I'm so glad that you're writing about it, thinking about it, digging into it. Now, let me ask you, how did you get involved with, you know, writing about transhumanism and keeping track of all these people out there that are trying to control our every thought, deed, and what we're doing here on this planet now?
Well, I've always kind of subscribed to the theory, and I became like, awake. I knew something was very wrong about 10 years ago, maybe even more than that, but I couldn't put my finger on it. So whenever, reports would come out from mainstream, what I started doing is flipping them over 180 degrees and going at them from that direction, kind of from the perspective, what's up is down, what's good is bad, what's black is white,
Mm-hmm.
and finding some very interesting stuff, as far as what was being reported to us or told to us, and compare that to what was actually going on behind the scenes, and how very, very good these self-appointed overlords of humanity are at this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, Level 9 News came out of what incident in your life did it spurn it to happen?
Well, pretty much the incident where I uncovered the jade helm. What the jade in the jade helm exercise was actually a piece of software called Jade 2. And it's a self-aware, network-centric, autonomous warfare system. And it's got tentacles that go out in 100 different directions. But it predominantly uses all of our communications to gauge emotional responses to stress, anger, anxiety, conflict. And it weighs those emotional responses in a battle planning scenario.
Oh,
So
geez.
that's kind of what got me into, you know what, I got to put up a website. People need to know about this stuff, what's going on behind the curtain that they're not being told. Oh, and by the way, in line with the Jade 2 software, the
Yeah.
Pentagon, I just put up a report about this.
Okay.
Pentagon just released a document. It's 58 pages, but what it takes out of the shadows now and puts in the light is everything I've been talking about since way back last year, a year and a half ago. They are telling us we're using your social media. It will be used as
Mm-hmm.
targeting telemetry an autonomous warfare, seek and destroy, seek and identify type of system.
Oh my
And they're not
God.
just talking about terrorists, Lorene. They're talking about all human threats.
Oh,
That's the exact
exactly.
quote.
In other words, you and me.
Yeah, all human threats pretty much encompasses everyone.
It does, because humans have emotions, and emotions are not allowed in that kind of scenario. Believe me, I know. Oh my God, this is so crazy. Okay, so the Pentagon. Oh God, this is like talking to. I love what you're doing, but every time I talk to you, I kind of freak out for about 4 days, and it takes me
Oh,
that long to get back to going to work every day and not having. See, I work at a job where I crunch numbers.
uh-huh.
And I do a lot of managerial work and things like that. And so I've got a lot of time in my brain while I'm crunching numbers to think about this stuff. I do operate on two levels when I'm crunching numbers. I don't know how I do it, but I do. And it just takes me literally days to get back to the point where my mind doesn't wander into these horrible areas wondering what we're going to do to fight back with this. And to be honest with you, I don't think there's anything we can do. I've been talking the whole show today. You weren't listening to the first hour, but the whole first hour pretty much was me on a rant about how the Occupy movement had it together, but they just didn't have a leadership or a mission. They
Yeah.
didn't know what they were really doing, but man, they were organized. And the problem we've got with a lot of the people out there that want to change our government, that want to take back our system, they're not organized, and they got a lot of passion, but they're just not organized enough, and they don't know who the leader's going to be, and nobody wants to step up. I mean, that's a big problem. We don't have people like George Washington anymore that we could go to and say, look, George, we really need your help. Come on, rally with us. I mean, where do you go? There just isn't anybody.
Yeah, I think that movement started out with good intentions but it was co-opted,
Yes, I agree with you.
by Soros and, those of that ilk.
Yep, yep, absolutely. Now, when people go to your website, they can sign up, they can get a subscription to the website, and they can get a username and password, and then you send them every day or every couple days a new article via
Um,
email, like an alert.
no, I don't do that because I know how much that annoys me. But what they get when they sign up or they subscribe is they have the ability to comment, and that part of that is to keep trolls off the site. They also have the ability to participate in forums that are already up there, and or to create their own forum. If they have a topic that they're knowledgeable about and they feel is very important and needs exposure, they can create their own forum
Oh,
on the site.
wonderful. That's great. So you're giving people the opportunity to feed each other information in a network situation.
Yes, and what I'm trying to do with this site is, you know, a lot of people are doing very good research out there, and I applaud them, yourself included. And I wanted to do the same thing, but I also wanted to create a type of a think tank where like-minded people can get together, discuss the problem. All right, I'm laying out the problem. I'm telling you, this is what's happening. This is where this is going. This is
Got
why
it.
this won't work the way they're saying it will. And then have other people come in and, in a group think type of a platform, try and address some viable solutions to this.
Oh, wonderful. See, now this is, I'm so glad we're talking about this because That's what I was ranting about today, is that I feel like we don't have any place to find solutions or have solutions. I used Alex Jones as my prime example, that he's a great person to wake you up, but after 3 months of listening to him, you haven't realized, A, that he's in there to make money, and B, he's never going to give you any real solutions to the problem. Then you're going to be trapped in that anger, feeding
Hysteria.
anger. Yeah,
Yeah, anxiety.
it's a fear mongering, basically, is what it
Yeah.
is. And you'll be trapped with him in that matrix. And I think people are much smarter than that. And I think that if after 3 months you go, oh my God, this guy's never going to help me, really, he's never going to give you the answers I need, they should be coming to your site.
They should. I
Yeah.
wish more of them would. I mean, we're gaining subscribers in that. It's a slow, arduous process, but
Yeah,
because I don't do a lot of promoting and I don't do advertising.
you're
But
like me.
thanks to people like you, who put the word out there. And yes, that's what we need to do. We need to have a group think. We can't just all be running around with our hair on fire, screaming, you know, this is the problem, this is the problem. And nobody, like you pointed out, nobody contributing anything. Okay, this is what we can do. All right, if that
Exactly.
doesn't work, then we can do this. Or maybe we
Yeah.
need to do A, B, and C simultaneously.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Wonderful. Well, hey, I can't believe it. We've already hit the first break, and I haven't even started talking about the emerging technology article I saw. Oh my God, folks, wait till you hear about this. Okay, we'll be back in a few moments. Stay with us with DJ at level9news.com.
Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.